I'm gonna go ahead and start it. All right. Abby, you can see the screen, right? I just want to make
Yep,
sure.
I can.
All right, very good. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Why don't you click stop? Hey everybody, I'm gonna let everybody kind of take a second to get on in. Like it's gonna take a second, but welcome. We're gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get situated. And welcome to our webinar. We are not going to be able to see you. So Abby, I'm going to give everybody a second to kind of chime in, and then we'll introduce you and Charlie, and then Danielle will be with us shortly. She's having some technical difficulties. So welcome to our webinar. I'm trying to see. All right, Abby, just for my purposes, you and Charlie, y'all can hear and see me okay, right? Just want to make sure.
Yep, we can.
All right, very good.
All
All right, everybody. It's our first time using this Zoom account, so hopefully everybody's going to find their way in okay. And we'll give everybody another minute or so to get going. And like I said, Danielle will be joining us shortly. She had some technical difficulties. She'll be in a second. So also, if you'll notice, there are chat options, and so Abby is going to be monitoring any of that. If you have actually, I don't see the chat when I look at it, Abby. Am I missing it?
There is a Q&A option, and you can open a question within there, and then I can read them out as they come in.
Very cool. So all right. So I did. So anybody opens it, or can I open it myself? Or
you should be able to. It's
okay,
at the bottom.
I just opened it. We'll see what happens. All right. So if you have any questions, please send them on, and we'll be able to answer them as we go. So it's the top of the hour, so we've got a little bit more as folks are still kind of chiming in a little bit. I know some folks have let me know they wouldn't be able to make it today, but we are going to be sending out the recording after, along with some other information. So we'll give everybody just another minute to get settled. I know that some folks, especially if you're in a restaurant, being able to be ready on time is a bit of a challenge. So we'll give everybody one more minute and let some folks kind of chime on in. It's like we still got folks kind of coming in right now. So for those of you just joining, Danielle made it. Hey, Danielle.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining. I was telling everybody you might be a minute late, but you were exactly 1 minute late. So that's totally great. So where we were, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So, no worries. Hey, so we still have some folks chiming in, but we'll go ahead and kind of do some introductions here for everyone. So first of all, thank you. The first new Catering Connections webinar that we've done. Danielle and I did one last month, and this is my 7th for the year, but it's the first one that we're rolling solo as new Catering Connections. And what I'm really excited about is the ability to kind of do this a little bit different than we've done it before. So before we get into some of that, we've got some folks that you're going to be able to see. First of all, I'd like to introduce Miss Abby from New Catering Connections. She's going to be kind of monitoring any questions that you have. So in the Q&A section, if you'd like to go ahead and ask a question along the way, please feel free. She will interrupt us and ask us to answer your questions so we don't get to the end of the webinar and not have answered those for you. Then we'll see our vendor of the month, which is going to be a regularly occurring thing that we do as part of our webinars, and meet Charlie Donaldson with Donation Scout. He's joining us for the whole hour, which I appreciate because I think he can offer some insight for what we're doing. So Charlie, I'll let you say hey real quick.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Look forward to speaking with you about our platform and fundraising and how that relates to catering. And appreciate Byron and the NCC crew for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I think you're going to be a wonderful addition. And I think hopefully we'll get some folks getting to hear about your product. Abby, I should have let you say hey as well. So why don't you do that real quick?
That's okay. Hi, everyone. Good to talk to everybody. Like you said, if you have any questions, just drop them in the Q&A, and I'll make sure that we get those answered for you by the end of the webinar. But thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. And then Abby is one of the founding members of New Catering Connections when we started. She was one of the original 3 with Tracy and myself. So she is one of the first, I guess, a co-founder officially, Abby, in how we do this. So, and then finally, my partner, Danielle Guzzetta. So Danielle, I'll let you say hey and introduce you a little bit for folks that may not have met you before as well.
Yes, partners in crime, Byron and I.
You bet.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I love these little conversations. 30 years of marketing, last 10 in executive position for the likes of Anthony's Cold Fried Pizza, Smoky Bones, 2J's. Love restaurants. I'm Italian. I love to eat. Really went out on my own 2 years ago and started my own marketing consulting agency with my primary responsibility helping restaurants generate revenue outside of their four walls. So happy to be here. Looking forward to answering any questions people have as we go.
And so, first of all, thanks for joining us. One of the things that I want to let you know is that I'm very humbled and very appreciative of anyone that wants to hear what I have to say for an hour. I know Danielle feels the same way at times where we love this industry and this is our way of giving back to it. This is something that's been a passion point for me for a very long time, is the ability to give back to this industry that's given to me and given to a lot of folks that I care about. And so first of all, as you're looking at the screen in the upper right corner, when we are all said and done, we are going to that link that you may have had to sign up in the first place, not the Zoom link, but the catering customer journey link. You can use that link going forward to access everything that we're going to cover today. If you don't have it, don't worry. When we send the recordings out after to everyone that registered, we will go ahead and send out the link, the website that this is on, so you have it as well. And then we'll post it on LinkedIn as well. And then if anybody wants just to email me directly, I'll be happy to send those to them. We are doing this a little different. We're doing it on a website. One of the things that when I talked to Danielle a month or so, I said, I want to do something a little bit different. I don't want to do another Canva or do another PowerPoint. I've been doing those for years. I wanted to try something a little bit different. And so for the last month, I've been working on a website that I'm using with AI to generate a catering training website. And it's something that's going to continue to grow with us as we do these webinars. And what's most exciting about it is that it's going to be a living, breathing document, so to speak. As we add to it, we republish it and new information will appear. We're going to keep adding tools and scripts and templates and all kinds of stuff. And we'll show you what some of that looks like a little bit. What we wanted to do, if you've been to some of our webinars in the past, last quarter, we did something called the Catering Army of One. And it was a 3-part series that focused on ways to help catering sales managers that have limited to no resources, our owners, our general managers who are been given the task of growing catering, but may not have the resources to do it. And so we did a 3-month session on a 3-month segment on that topic. What we wanted to do for the next 3 months is create something called the catering journey. And so what we wanted to do for the customer, the catering customer journey. So think about that decision maker at the engineering firm or the law firm or the school or the car dealer who's looking for catering support. What does their journey look like? Because I think if we can nail down what their journey looks like and what would work best for them, in turn, we are teaching ourselves what we need to do to be successful. So understand that this is going to be a little bit different. There's going to be some scrolling involved. So as I get comfortable with the model as well, I'll get smoother in our transitions. In the upper right corner, you will see again, when you get the link, you will see my bio and you will see Danielle's bio. So if you wanted to click on it, you can learn a little bit about me and what I do and our company. And you can even reach out to me via LinkedIn or schedule a consultation. You can also do the same thing with Danielle. Her bio is here for you as well as LinkedIn to schedule a strategy session with her. And then we even added one for our friend Charlie. If you want to know more about him after the call, you'll have access to not only a little bit about Charlie, but how to get in touch with him. Some slides, which we'll cover a little bit later, but you can visit his site, schedule a demo, or visit his LinkedIn profile as well. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about, being a website, you should have great visibility and access to everything that you need. So now we're going to scroll down this page. First of all, Danielle, before I kind of dig in a little bit, anything else you wanted to share or add real quick as we kind of get into what we're trying to accomplish over the next 3 months?
Yes, 2 things. One, huge shout out to you. This is an incredible playbook that I would have killed to have as a chief marketing officer for restaurants that I would have used and referenced. There is a ton of information. This is not just, hey, 4 bullets on a slide. There's a chock full meat and potatoes here for everybody to use and reference. I know we're not going to get into all of it, but please do yourself a favor. Take the time to do a double click and deep dive on some of these topics. It will save you hours of time and work. AI is here to stay. Let's utilize it, right? You take it, put your own ideas to it, will save you hours and hours. So just quick shout out to you, Byron, for that.
Oh, no, thank you. And this has been a lot of collaboration and a lot of probably anxiety trying to make sure we could get it looking as nice as I could for today. The one thing that you'll notice, and Danielle touched on it just now, and I wanted to make sure we talk about it, is traditionally when you go to a webinar or a training session, you either get the website with the slide with 4 bullet points because somebody told somebody a long time ago that if you put too much text on a page, people won't listen to you because they're reading the text. Or you get the opposite where in other words, or you get 4 bullet points and no context. And so at the end, you're listening and everything's fine. But at the end, you're either, oh my God, what did they mean by that? Or what does that word mean? And you have no context. The notes are not there. Or you spend all your time taking notes, writing down the notes that they're speaking and not necessarily being able to pay attention. And so we thought there had to be a happy medium. And so what you'll find with the site that we've built that you're going to all have free access to is that it's a medium, meaning that there's high level if you want it. There's also a lot of granular depth along the way. And so just be prepared. There's probably one more thing to click with a lot more information embedded within, and we're going to keep adding the depth because I think that's going to be necessary. We wanted to create a series, and we're giving a little bit of extra introduction here because this is the first part of 3 and the first time we've done this. Everything is going to be layered in, whether you're a novice and you're just getting into this, whether you are somebody that has been in it for a while and you want to go a little deeper, or maybe you're a brand leader. Maybe you're somebody representing a large number of locations for a large franchise group or an enterprise brand, and you want a deeper dive. We've got that too. And so I think along the way, you're going to find something helpful for you. And think about it, with a website, you can do one at a time whenever it's comfortable for you. And so I think that's a big thing that I wanted to push as well. So this is a 6-step journey. We're going to do 2 steps for each month. The first month is we're going to do today awareness and exploration. So awareness, your ability to get the word out that you have a catering program and what it's all about. Exploration is when the catering buyer is going, hey, I need catering. Let me go hunt for some options out there. And then how well do you do as a restaurant at making sure that they can find you with as few roadblocks as possible? Next month, we're going to get into connection and commitment. So the sales process, everything from first outreach through workflows, through follow-ups, through quotes, all the collaboration you're doing along the way to the commitment step, the closing, the booking, the confirming of the orders. And then the last month, which would be September, we're going to go over experience and care. Experience being the execution, the operations, the fulfillment. And then the care part being the post-order, customer service, customer success, rewards, referrals, all the other things that come in toward the end. And so I think we've got it split up very nicely into 3 segments. So today we're going to talk about awareness and exploration, but I want to cover a few more things as we go. I love this chart. Customer retention by journey stage. So the idea here is this is first party growth, right? That's why everyone's here. We want to grow first party sales. And so I'm not talking about conversions because that's part of it, converting third to first. But traditional first party sales growth is a challenge. It's hard. It takes time. It's relationships. It's patience. It's all those things that go with it. And one of the things that when we started digging in and doing some research that I found was interesting is the yellow is where you are as a system. In other words, restaurants around the country and their catering and how they do it, each of these 6 segments. Blue is where we want to go after we do these types of trainings and get some of this research and training pieces that available to you guys. So looking at it, we do a pretty good job at awareness. About 85% of restaurants do a decent job at making sure that people know you have a catering program. Where we struggle a little bit at 62% is exploration, meaning allowing people to find us effectively. And if they find us, what do they find? Are they finding something quality? Are they finding the details they need? Where you'll start to see that restaurants struggle is sales. Hence, new catering connections and why I'm here. Danielle and REVGEN marketing is because restaurant owners have limited bandwidth. General managers, even catering sales managers now have such limited bandwidth that they need help in some capacity. So either through training, we'll teach you how, or we have resources and companies out there that can assist. But connecting is tough. Committing the closing of the sale is even tougher. And so I'm excited about what we can do next month to help raise the bar in those. You do a good job at experience, getting that order out and having a good experience for that end user. But where restaurants struggle, and this is where the repeat businesses come, and I hear Mo in my ear from Monkey, who says if you get the third order, then they're your customer forever. What we do is we struggle getting to order 2. And so this is part of the excitement of being able to do this. Danielle, I'll give you a second if there's anything you want to add here before we get into the meat and potatoes.
No, you nailed it. I think this is great.
All right. And then the last thing I want to show you is market insights and opportunities. The catering market is $72.7 billion in 24, supposed to go up to $132.6 billion. It is not going anywhere. It's going to double in the next, 10 years. So keep in mind that there's a lot of growth ahead, and you have to go out and get your share. What I like about this last chart before we get into the meat is that you'll see the steady growth of sales along the way. The green bar is digital adoption. So these two numbers don't really play into each other, but what you're starting to see is that the digital adoption of restaurants, embracing AI, embracing digital media, embracing those tools that are going to help get them to the next level. And so I'm pretty excited about what's ahead. So now we're going to kind of dig in. This is, so when you get
Byron, I would just add that if catering is not at least 10 to 15% of your sales mix, you're leaving money on the table. It should be at least 10 to 15. I've seen upwards of 15 to 30. So there's a lot of money to be had out there if you have a good, solid plan. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get to exploration. But if anyone's looking for what that number should be, that's kind of the sweet spot.
And I know some of you out there are probably sitting there going, is that possible? Is that realistic? Years ago, I was a general manager with the Honey Baked Ham company. And corporate catering was about 28% of my business. Corporate catering with corporate gifting was over 50% of our business. And so we were a little bit ahead of our time. Now, off premise and things outside the 4 walls, catering is that big ticket item that really can drive that. So understanding the 6 steps, let's get into awareness, and we'll show you a little bit about what we wanted to talk about today. As we get into awareness, the first thing I want to show you is everything has got a main return page, and you can move around. We've got these little clicks built in here for you to be able to move around as you go. We've added some tools. If you look in the bottom right corner, there's something that says catering assistant. It is kind of a little chat bot assistant I'm building. It is not perfect yet. We will connect it to external AI, hopefully over the next month. Right now, it's just connected to our internal data, but it can help you if you have some questions within the document. But we've added a little AI bot there for you. At each section, we're going to go through you're going to see consistent segments that we're going to discuss. And so you'll see some consistency as how we've got it set up. So the critical first step where potential clients discover their catering needs and begin recognizing your brand as a solution. So Danielle, you got a quote here. I'm going to let you kind of expand on that a little bit.
Well, this is the phase where you want to make sure everybody knows you do catering. You can't be part of the subset if you're not out there. I'll be honest with you. I called a restaurant a week ago, asked if they did catering. The person on the phone said, no, I guess the manager heard her. She said, no, we absolutely do. So we'll talk about, you got to make sure everybody's getting the word out at every level so that people know you are a go-to.
Yeah, awareness is such a big upside, and how to not get drowned out by the competition as well is very key. And so what we wanted to talk about today is 4 key elements of brand awareness. 1, brand recognition and market position. I think there's times where people don't necessarily know who their target customers are because they have not positioned themselves effectively. Your restaurant and your catering menu is not ideal for every business out there. So who is it ideal for? there's a few brands out there that can kind of run the gamut a little bit, that can help with anything from a law firm to the body shop or to the high-end conference to something real basic. But most of the time, you're going to have a niche. Are you a little more high-end? Are you a little bit more on the value side? Are you somewhere in the middle? Is it variety that's yours? Are you very specialized? Understanding how you position yourselves in the market is very important because that helps people to find you. If I'm saying, hey, I'm a law firm, I've got National Intern Day coming up, so I want to feed 25 interns, and I want to go a little bit more upscale. If you're not positioning yourself as that, then it's going to be more difficult for them to find you. And so that's where awareness, these little pieces here that kind of all add together. And we're going to show you how to make some first impressions and how to kind of get your word into the right places to help you navigate that. Need recognition. Prospects identify their catering requirements for corporate events, business meetings, celebrations, etc., and begin seeking solutions. So how are you getting yourself out there to make sure they hear you? Strategic touch points, coordinated marketing efforts using word of mouth and consistent brand visibility, and then connecting with influential voices. Partner strategically with high impact individuals who can amplify your message. We're not necessarily talking about influencers, that's a piece of it, but event planners, chamber of commerce contacts, corporate office managers that have multiple departments within a building, anybody in the community that you know might be able to assist, vendors who work with a lot of different companies will know people. There's a lot of ways to generate one-to-many relationships where single connections can maybe reach tens or even hundreds of potential clients for you. So you got another quote here, Danielle, purpose of the awareness.
Yeah, I think that the takeaway here is that you're really putting together two marketing strategies, one to your B2B and one to your B2C. Might be the same product, but it's going to be different messaging to Byron's point. You might be doing pharmas, hospitals, etc., versus, birthday parties and holidays. So it's important that you recognize that and identify those opportunities up front so that you can prepare your marketing message in advance.
One of our most amazing clients at NCC is Noodles and Company. And they do an amazing job at navigating the B2B waters, but also the B2C, graduations, even weddings, birthday parties, anniversaries. And then there's that kind of weird blend at businesses that are more social catering blended in. So again, this goes back to what we were talking about, which is where are you positioning yourself and where are you allowing yourself to be seen? And I think those are things that we want to make sure we talk through. So when you're looking at these segments, we're going to highlight everything in 4 areas. What works best? What are some common mistakes? What do you do when time is tight? And then, listen, I've been to enough webinars and things in my life. I hate not having good takeaways. We've built a takeaway toolbox for each of these, which are things that you physically can take back to your teams and use. And I think you'll enjoy looking at some of those things. I'm going to scroll down the page here a little bit. I want to show you one more thing at the end of each area. So awareness, exploration, et cetera. For today, we've actually built in some quizzes for you. Now that you don't have to pass the quiz in order to go to the next one. But the purpose of the quizzes is if you're a general manager or an owner and you want to quiz your staff. This is going to be real basic staff awareness type questions. The catering sales manager quiz. Maybe you've hired a new catering sales manager and you want to find out, do they understand awareness? Do they understand some of the basics that we're going to be talking about today? And then we've created brand leader quizzes as well. So if you're a brand leader and you want to sharpen your tools a little bit, hopefully there's some questions here that might help you think or ponder some differences. And we've built that in there as well. So I'm going to get into these, and then Danielle, we'll get to your pro tips at the end as we kind of come through this. So first of all, let's talk about what works best. So again, as you click down in these, you're going to see multiple options. Consistent brand presence, regular posting on social media, consistent branding across all platforms to keep you top of mind. Local SEO optimization. First of all, I know that some of you may be overwhelmed by that. Just hearing those words, local SEO optimization. Oh my God, what is that? Is that too much? Is it over the top? I think the way we've broken it down inside there, you're going to find there's some really cool tools that can help you figure out how to do it without having to pay somebody an arm and a leg to do it for you. So I think there's some really cool tools in there. Word of mouth referrals, satisfied customers. Why we're afraid to ask people for referrals, I don't know. One of the things that I always felt I was really good at as a general manager when I was doing catering sales was asking people, can you put me a note? Can you give me a quote? Can you introduce me to some other folks that might have a need? Because I was pretty confident in my ability to satisfy and take care of what they needed. There's a lot of value there for helping get the word out and generating awareness is getting people to talk about you. And so don't be afraid to ask. And then we're going to get into weekly sales blitzes. So Danielle, you got some quotes here. Google my business and some of the other points here.
Yeah, I mean, all of these, and if you just want to scroll up a little bit, there should be every touch point, there should be something about your catering. I'm sorry, scroll down a little bit. There should be something about your catering. I mean, in restaurant signage, every to-go bag should have a bounce back bag or some communications about catering. Your on-hold messaging should talk about catering. Obviously, your website, you can do QR codes on the table. There's a ton of things, and you should take every single one of those opportunities to kind of get the word out there. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about sampling, but your product is the best marketing tool you have. It's costs you about 30 cents on the dollar, and it really gives your potential customers an opportunity to try your food, drop a little business card. We'll talk about some of those tips, but that is a no-brainer. I know sometimes it is very hard to get boots on the ground, but every opportunity that you can, that is the best marketing that you can do, along with referrals. Reviews are critical. We'll talk a little bit about them, but they cost you nothing, and they are probably your best marketing tool that you have. So those two things I know tend to slip to the side, but are really big tools that should be leaned in on as much as possible.
So I want to touch on it real quick. As you click, and anytime you see an arrow, we're going to go deeper. So you have the ability to go deeper. So I'm going to click on one just so you can kind of see it. So you get into what's called a deep dive detail page. And so consistent brand presence, what you're going to find here. And again, we don't have time to go over all of these, but I wanted to share a couple with you. So you're going to see some quotes from Danielle with regards to website presence, paid media, local partnerships. And Danielle, if you want to talk about this real quick, because I know
No,
brand
they can,
presence is huge. So.
they'll follow along. I know we
Okay.
have a lot to cover.
So
Not to worry.
so consistent brand presence, talking about the core strategy, using good imagery, all of those things that are very important. You'll see information about social media consistency, professional materials. You'll see success metrics and ROI numbers here based on your ability to build your brand over time. We've got key performance indicators, common pitfalls, and then we'll even give you a 30-day quick start plan. So that's the kind of depth you're going to be able to see as we go through each of these different categories. So as we get back into what works best, I haven't figured out the backtracks yet. The one I did want to jump into real quick is, and there's anyone you see an arrow, there's going to be a deep dive page for you to come and go and visit when you get to the website. But I want to get into weekly sales blitzes real quick. There's a deep dive page here. It's going to talk about your blitz strategy. It's going to give you some key principles, and it's going to give you some timing. If you've known me for any period of time, the best days to do sales blitzes are Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, either 9 to 11 in the morning or 1 to 3 in the afternoon. We've got the whole breakdown of why those time zones are the best. Avoid lunchtime because you don't want to have a great conversation with the wrong person. We want to make sure that the person sitting there is the one we want to talk to. We talk about the powers of sales blitzing in pairs, going with two of you out at a time, and the benefits of that. If you can financially afford it, the benefits are tremendous. It creates a balanced dynamic. Two versus you and the person at their desk evens things out. It talks about just 2 hours a week, 20 blitzes per week. If you convert just one of those 20 clients into a customer who spend an average of $350, which is pretty standard average order size now, with a 3.8x repeat factor is what we've learned from research over 12 months. Meaning once you order someone, the average company is going to order with you about 4 times a year. You can start to see what kind of revenues you can create. At in the 12th month, you'd be generating about $5,000 in additional catering revenue you currently are not doing simply by consistently, and I know Danielle, that was your word, getting out there every week and visiting for 2 hours a week. And that was one of the biggest successes for me. I didn't know if you want to chime in on sales blitzes.
No, I think a lot of people just don't take the time to do it. Bandwidth is very tough, but the more you put in up front, and it can just be a little bit of time, those sales are going to come. You just have to get out there, and it's guerrilla marketing,
Yeah, and I
really
didn't
just
necessarily want
get
to
out
spend.
and get the word out.
I know me, I didn't want to spend too much time on this. This is one of my passion points, though. If you can get out for 2 hours, traditionally, you're going to generate about 40 to 50 new clients a year. It'll generate about $40,000 in new catering revenue for you. And that's revenue that will continue to grow year after year. So you're growing on top of growth. It is not really designed to be replacement revenues. And then so there's an implementation plan here. The goal here, what we wanted to do is share this information with you, obviously. But on the flip side, let you know it's there. So as you get the website, dig deep. There's always going to be more places to click for you to learn a little bit more. And that's just in the what works best category. So just know that there's a lot here. And then as we get to the common mistakes, who are you targeting? Inconsistent posting, meaning you're not staying consistent on social media. You're using generic marketing messages. And Danielle, I'd love you to chime in on that one. That's one of my pain points is when we go delicious food. That is not a marketing message.
Right. Clearly, the more personalized you can get, and you break it down. If you're talking about Super Bowl going on Super Bowl, every catering message should have its own point, whether it's a holiday, a birthday, whether it's an office party, what have you. And I mean, you just have to drive that message home. You're offering the same thing, but you're just putting a different marketing spin on it. The more you can do that, the more your guest is going to realize, I can use this for this, and graduation and Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of those events will come into play.
And one note here that I love this quote is from Marketing Analysis 2024. 89% of catering businesses use identical messaging, making them indistinguishable to prospects making quick decisions. If you want to sound like every other restaurant, be cautious. You're not going to be able to stand out using generic messages. So keep that in mind. The goal here is to, as you're using your messaging, identify who you are, what you stand for. If you're a Cajun cafe, hey, I'm at Byron's Cajun Cafe. We specialize in traditional Southern Louisiana cuisine. If you want a fried shrimp po' boy, or you want a Cajun ham and cheese, whatever, you emphasize what your strengths are versus just saying delicious food, or we cater, or we deliver. Everybody's using the similar messages. How can you phrase it? How can you use messaging that's going to be more impactful? Don't neglect your Google business profile. A lot of times people do. And a lot of times that's what's being used for search generation. And so if you have an incomplete or an outdated business profile, it's going to make you invisible in the search results. And Danielle, any insight there? That's a little bit outside my normal.
Yeah, the other thing that is very important is you can't just write it and leave it. Nobody wants to pay to play marketing. So if you can float up on the top of your search without spending money, you're going to want to do it. Google is the best way to do that. If you go in weekly and update your Google messaging, it might just be, hey, we're having a St. Patrick's Day catering thing this week, or we're doing moms, dads, and grads. Or every time you go in and touch that file to update it, you are moving up in the rankings, spending zero money. About, set aside a half hour a week to update that message weekly. Even if you can only do it every other week, it will go a long way.
The other thing I want to point out here is when you avoid using vague or generic keywords. Very similar. Avoid things like delicious food or great catering. Be more specific. Authentic Italian catering, farm to table corporate lunch, gluten-free event catering. Those are the kind of terms that are going to help you find people that are in exploration mode, which we'll cover shortly. So I noticed you've got some common pitfalls here. Assuming awareness equals interest. Danielle?
Oh, yeah, no, these are just kind of reiterate. We can move through because I know we're going to be tight on time.
No worries. Yeah.
It's kind of reiterating everything we just kind of covered.
So when time is tight, here's the things that you should primarily focus on. Google Business Profile Optimization. She just said it. Spend 30 minutes updating your profile initially, and then take 5 minutes a week or 2 minutes a week or whatever it takes. Add something different, something new. It's going to keep you fresh in Google searches. It's going to make it easier for people to find you. Social media bio updates. Refresh your social media bios. I had to look at mine the other day. Mine still says, hey, I'm so happy to be starting new catering connections. I'm sitting there going, oh my God, it's been 2.5 years since I've touched that. So keep your social media updated. Again, Anything that's going to help drive search engines activity is one of those things that algorithms search for. No activity, no visibility. So keep that in mind. Ask for reviews. We talked about client referrals. This one's just as important. Hey, could you go to our website? Could you say something about your experience with us? You don't want them to lie. You don't want them to fake it out or anything like that. But you want to be able to ask for reviews from your best clients. And most of the time, a simple reward, a $10 gift card, a complimentary dessert, come in and have lunch with us, will get that for you. So keep that in mind. Strategic.
Yeah, Byron, I wanted
Yep.
to hop in on that just
You bet.
really quick because we're always looking for things that we can do that don't cost us money. We talk about food sampling, which costs us 30 cents on the dollar. And we talked about, reviews and referrals. 93% of consumers say they look at use reviews to make decisions. 72% will not even make a purchase if there isn't a review or a good review. And most importantly, one additional star on Yelp can lead to 5 to 9% increase in revenue. So reviews cost nothing. It is important. You can even put a little leave behind table card or QR card on the table. Hey, leave us a review. I know it's hard when people walk out, they forget. So if you have something right there at the table when they're checking out, bam, it costs you nothing and it goes a long way.
And that'll help you with your catering. So your restaurant Yelp score, your restaurant Google review number will help drive visibility for catering as well. So keep that in mind. Strategic sample drops. This is something that's old school catering. You go to the bank, bring 2 samples, go hit the businesses on either side. If you're going to the grocery store to pick up something, drop off somewhere between your restaurant and where you're going and bring in a sample and say hi and share a menu and a brief sample of what you do. If you can't do those full 2 hours per week, build in sample drops around your normal day-to-day business activities because that face-to-face approach does make a big deal. And then turn every guest into a catering ambassador. Train your team to include catering menus in takeout bags. Ask diners that are in there if they have a need for catering. Maybe there's a business card drop box where you're soliciting card drops and say, hey, if you drop your card, we usually give 1 lunch for 10 away each month to a business in the area, and maybe you'll find out some catering opportunities near you. So it's simple touch points that you can really do to make things happen.
And some of that is just really awareness, Byron. I mean, we used to tell our operators, look around the dining room. Do you see anyone in scrubs? Ask them if they work at a hospital. Are they a farmer rep? Suits? Do they work in a financial office, a lawyer? So there's a lot of opportunity to be proactive. I know we're all crushed for time, but if you keep an eye on these simple things, the business will come.
Key cards, lanyards, embroidered shirts. Sometimes I've even had my people that were scoping the parking lot to see any company cars or company trucks that might be driving by. So anything you can do to kind of help get the word out. So now let's look at the takeaway toolbox. So there's some things in here. You're going to get some key awareness strategies. Again, all of these that have an arrow will click to something new. You want to know more about a referral program? Here's an entire referral program deep dive. How to do a double reward system, how to reward high referrers, put them in bronze level, silver level, gold level for how many people they do. We'll let you read that on your own, but there's some really deep stuff. Listen, one thing that I was talking to Danielle about is that I think there's about 97 topics in here we could do a separate hour on for each because we could go deeply on that stuff. But obviously time is not going to allow us to do that. What we want to do is make sure you know where to find it when we get there. So all of these key awareness strategies have links attached to them with depth. And then here's Mr. Charlie. We're going to let him talk a little bit shortly about community fundraising programs and how they can boost catering sales. And then, so Charlie, we'll let you take it from here and then we'll get into some of the other content here below. If you're still with us.
I'm still with you. If you want to get to the...
Yeah, I'll get down to the slide. So there's a whole piece here on the community fundraising programs. What are the best groups to target? What type of events? What businesses emerge? And what works best? But we wanted to let Charlie kind of come in and introduce his company to you and tell you some of the things that they do.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Byron, again for having me. Nice to speak with you all. Like Byron said, Charlie Donaldson, co-founder and CEO of Donation Scout. We're a community partnership platform. We specialize in helping restaurants scale community fundraiser events. in-kind donations and sponsorship requests, as well as coupon campaigns. So really, we're a one-stop shop in terms of community partnership platforms. We've been around for a little over 6 years now. We work with some of the largest brands around the U.S., roughly 5,000 locations across 40 something brands, and really with the same goal in mind, and that is to streamline all of the administrative burden that's typically associated with these types of initiatives. And that's something that we've done, and increasingly so over the last 5 years as the platform gets better and better every year. So Byron, if you want to flip to the next page or scroll down. So my journey with Donation Scout actually started as a franchisee of Some Chickens. So this is a picture of me on the left with my daughter. This was, I don't know, maybe 2018, actually working at a fundraiser event. They actually, in a little pro tip here, the guy to the right of me, he's a local State Farm agent that we actually did a code event with where he actually matched the donation from the fundraiser event. So that was a great win for all, right? Exposed his business, helped us bring in more money for the fundraiser, and as well as all the other indirect benefits that come through that as well. Also, I'm sure a lot of you are also thinking about, and the wheels are turning right now, but that guy also represents a catering customer too, right? So everything Byron was talking about in terms of awareness and connection, that's why I'm so passionate about the synergistic relationship between fundraising and community partnership activities and catering, because it's just so easy. That's what I think about low-hanging fruit. And again, I saw it firsthand as a restaurant owner. What really got me excited about this partnership is when I saw firsthand new customer acquisition, right? Especially for us, we were trying to bring an emerging concept at the time to a major market in Houston. Winning new guests, bringing them into your doors, that was something that was crucial to us, and community partnerships, specifically fundraisers, was a great way to do that. It was also bringing in incremental sales, right? Those feet that were coming in for that fundraiser event weren't planning to come in that night absent the event. So it was a great way for us to boost that incremental sales. Didn't have to pay extra rent for that, didn't have to pay other fixed costs. So we're thinking about incremental profitability. So even though I'm giving away 20%, I'm still dropping down, call it 50% on a flow through basis. So these events were wildly profitable. And also as the CFO of our restaurant group, that was really material for me from my point of view. Increased customer loyalty. That's something that ultimately I'll talk about in terms of the connection between catering, but that's where the connection comes in, right? You're building a loyal customer base with not only the organizers, but the community members, part of the school or the team or the band, the families. They're coming in, they're acknowledging your restaurant as a community friendly restaurant, which just opens the doors to lots of other opportunities, specifically on the catering side. So that's really when when the light bulb came on for me is working an event. It wasn't this one, but it was another event where we were hosting an event for a high school band. Ended up being I think it was a $3,000 event because this band really showed up. But even more impactful from a profitability standpoint was the game day catering orders that came through about a month later, right? So that just kind of really got me excited about the overall impact, not just from a community standpoint and the right thing to do, but it was a great business opportunity. So if you want to scroll down
Yeah,
another
mom
page.
and dads all work somewhere, right? I mean, that's the
Right.
advantage. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how Donation Scout relates specifically to catering. There's a lot that we do. There's not enough time to go through everything, but I really think about this from a catering perspective as a CRM for high intent community-based catering leads. So starting with the left, it's a great and easy way to fill your funnel with potential catering leads, right? So our platform allows for restaurants to have a robust fundraiser and spirit night program. That's pretty self-explanatory, low-hanging fruit there. but we also have other opportunities to fill that lead, fill that funnel with schools that are requesting student reward packages, right? The software was built with an insane amount of flexibility to accommodate pretty much any type of community marketing program that you can dream up. What we're seeing here on the left, that's what Jason's Deli is very successful with, not only in the fundraising side, but their student rewards program and their just general sponsorship and donation. We make it really easy for the community to make those requests. We make it even easier for the restaurants to manage those requests and fulfillment. And again, it just goes back to a point where we're maximizing that funnel with quality leads. From a cross promotion standpoint, and what we're looking at in the middle, this is a great example of Smoky Bones, who does a phenomenal job of cross-selling both their catering program and their fundraising program at the same time, right? There's great stories of, them talking to, the local YMCA or the school, just talking about their fundraising program and those conversations turning into catering orders. I've heard several stories of that, specifically with Smoky Bones. What we also allow for is with our 3.0 product, which is kind of our most enterprise, 100% white label product, is allow for you for cross promotion, but without promoting our company, right? At the end of the day, we don't want your clients to know or your guests to know about Donation Scout. We want them to know that they're interacting with a first party platform that's yours. And so that's what we're looking at here, where you can say just from something as simple as the URL, fundraising.smokybones.com, there's nothing about Donation Scout in there, right? It's all about the brand, and that's the way we want it. From a tools perspective, we see a lot of best practices around how restaurants bring in their catering teams with their local store marketing folks to have a collaborative effort to really move the needle. The first little box that we're looking at here is just a simple way to invite the catering manager or catering team lead into Donation Scout, for example, to get visibility of the fundraiser calendar and the fundraiser results. I've seen a couple of large brands that we work with. One of their best practices, they'll have their catering team reach out to the organizations after a successful event to give them the good news of the donation. That's a great way to start a catering conversation as well, right? So that's low-hanging fruit. We have also built in automation to do this at scale, where you can set up specific email and SMS campaigns to talk about, your catering program throughout any part of the fundraiser journey. So it's just a great way to continue that cross-sell momentum. So if you want to,
community outreach is the key to everything. And when most fundraising with school, people think schools, obviously churches, things like that. Those are truly gateways to the community and a great way to build awareness for sure.
that's exactly right. So yeah, I mean, with all that said, like I said, there's not enough time to go into everything, but really our value proposition is one, we're viewed as trusted experts. We're restaurant people. We're not just tech guys that had a good idea that put some, code in the ether. We're operators. We understood, very intimately the pain points and the problems that we're trying to solve. We're dedicated to continuously evolving the platform. For the last 6 years, Donation Scout has gotten better and better every year. And that's something that won't change. And for that time period, we've been battle tested through, thousands of restaurants across, dozens of major brands, countless, different user setups and hierarchies. And at the end of the day, if Donation Scout, for whatever reason, doesn't do something that a brand needs in terms of mission critical, we love building tech, so that's never been a problem. And this is a solution that was built for restaurants. That's where we live. Like I said, we're a restaurant people. Gracie Prezanson put it best. Many of you, I'm sure, know Gracie as a VP of Sales for Jason's Deli. They've partnered with us for over 5 years now, and they're a great testament of a good partnership, and we've done a lot of great things for them as well.
So Charlie, I guess real quick, how does somebody work with you? I mean, this is not a brand program, right? An individual franchise owner can work with you directly. They don't have to go through their company, correct?
That's right. Yeah, we can work with individual franchisees. We have a suite of products that can accommodate, the one unit, single brand franchisee. And then of course we work with the large enterprise brands that are both corporate and franchisee. We have products that can fit, the gamut. And so it's definitely not a one size fits all. And we love working with all types of restaurant operators.
Very cool. Anything else you want to share real quick?
No, that's a QR code to my LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me there. My email address is listed as well. I'm certainly open to exploratory or just strategy discussions about fundraising. So feel free to reach out anytime.
All right, very cool. One of the things I wanted to share on that real quick as we kind of go is everything is going to be available for you when we're done. There's some really good other details in here on how to incorporate spirit nights, any kind of fundraising type programs. So kind of keep that in mind. First, Charlie, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Obviously, as you know, Danielle and I have been we're not good on time management, so I want to make sure we have a chance to share some important things here at the end. So thanks for that. I appreciate it. There's going to be some AI boost stuff here down here. There's some AI tools that we've added to kind of give you some suggestions on how to really make some things happen. If you are new to AI and are not 100% comfortable, I've actually built in some prompts that you can actually plug into ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini, and they will be able to give you some answers. What are your 5 top local keywords and phrases I should target to appear when people search for catering in your area? Ask it some of those questions and tell it where you are. It's going to give you some unique answers that are going to be able to help you. So if you're new to AI and you just want some really cool prompts, you're not sure what to type in, here's some suggestions that we have for you. I want to share one thing real quick here on the catering calendar. If you've not seen our catering calendar before, it is here for you. And it is yours free of charge. This is the actual NCC catering calendar that our team uses in-house. You click on any of these kind of events and it's going to have some details for you. It's going to have some ways for you to be able to utilize the information within to kind of help you grow. So like if you want to do something with National Zookeepers Week, we've got VBRs, we've got targets, we've got all kinds of stuff built in here for you as well. So keep that in mind if you're looking. If you've done these webinars with us so far this year, you know that strategic targeting has been a big part of it. Don't want you to think we ignored you. So if you click into July, you're going to see all the strategic targets we're saying for August events, which we want to talk about in July, starting with back to school, aviation week, health center week, management training week, all with unique deep dive detail pages here for you. So you can go as deep as you like. We've also added August. August has got a ton of stuff coming in September. So you want to reach out in August for those September benefits. Construction Appreciation Week, Hotel Appreciation Day, Housekeepers Week, Assisted Living Week, Truck Driver Week. There's a ton coming up in September that you can go after. And as the year progresses, we'll add more each month, but we wanted to make sure we shared the catering calendar with you. It is here for you, instructions on how to use it, and some slides below to kind of give you some ideas as far as how to do plans, what strategic targeting is, what VBR selling is all about, what are listening windows, and a 7-step communication plan after you talk to them and capture their email, how to stay in touch, and to really be able to drive those relationships home. So a lot of information built in there. You'll also see...
Let's not forget, back to school is 2 to 4 to 6 weeks away. If you missed our webinar last month, it's chock full of ideas and what you should be doing now to be able to capitalize on that very lucrative holiday event.
And then again, I've got our information about new catering connections here. If you guys need help, we still got team. Our team can help you. Click on it to learn more about us. We are going to try to do a 10-minute dash through explorations. Right. I apologize.
It's okay. I talk quickly. I'm just going to hit the high point. So exploration, very, very important. Before you even start awareness or exploration, you want to make sure that you have a solid catering plan in place. Long gone are the days where restaurants can just take their menu and say this is quantity of 10 and 20 and 50. No, you've got to have a solid catering program. You need a solid strategy, a solid a dedicated resource, and a budget. So, how do you become best in class in catering? First and foremost, customers are going to start, once they are aware that you cater, they're going to start this exploration process. And this is where they're thinking about, is this the right place for me to use as a catering? Can they fit my needs? So they're going to be doing a lot of active research. Prospects are going to be gathering information. They're going to be looking at your competitors, at their pricing, at what menu offerings they have. Make sure you do your research, see what your competitors are doing, and do better. The ways you can do better, here are some key tips that are going to really move you to the front of the line. Roadblock removal. Eliminate barriers that prevent potential customers from easily accessing your information. It sounds odd, but when you go to a website and you've got to put in your zip code and your email and your this just to see a menu, I leave. I don't have the time. I go to the next place because already I'm saying, I can't even see the menu. I can't see prices. I can't see anything. This is going to take 4 more phone calls even to get me to where I am. Imagine walking into a retail store and at the door, the employee says, can I have your phone number, your email address, your zip code, just to get in? They're walking away. So make sure you remove those barriers.
I always equated it to like if you go to a store and nothing has price tags on it. How am I supposed to know if I can afford this or not? Exactly.
You stole my thunder. That's on the next one. So when we get into easy menu access and navigation, it is critically important. Put your pricing out there. Okay. If you've done your research and you know you're competitive, put your pricing out there. Just like I said, I go to a menu with no pricing. I'm gone. I'm somewhere else. People want to see that. So put it out there. To Byron's point, you walk in a store, if nothing has pricing, you don't know where to stop. So to shop. So you want to include as much detail as you can, not just pricing, but it's really critically important. You tell them how many does it feed. You want to offer buffet style packaging as well as individual packaging for the people who are fishing on EasyCater, which we'll talk about for a minute. They can search by buffet style or individual packaging. You don't want to rule yourself out of the decision-making subset by not offering those. People are willing to pay a little bit more for individual packaging. You can include those in your pricing. We already know catering is not as price sensitive as everyday one-off meals, and you want to be in that consideration set. Not to mention post-COVID, the individual packaging has stayed the long term. The other thing you want to make sure is you want to look at vegan, believe it or not, vegan and gluten-free. 1 in 5 orders using an EasyCater stat have an item that is vegan or gluten-free. If you can offer 1 or 2 of those items on your menu, you then become on the subset side as something to be searched for, and you will be part of that subset for search.
Can you help everybody in the office? Exactly.
Absolutely. And that's really what, CEO comes in, says, let's have lunch on Friday, take care of this. This girl wants to get to work. This guy wants to get to work, place their order, get what they need all in one place without having to make 100 phone calls. So that's something that you want to make sure you're doing.
One thing I wanted to touch on third-party strategies, because a lot of people want to talk about EasyCater, and I've worked with a lot of clients, especially over the last year, where we will go into their EasyCater menu, and the first thing I see is the highest priced item on their menu, their feast or their whatever, and it's priced at $25 a person or $30 a person, and yet there are value items below, but the person's not going to ever scroll to that because they're seeing your top, what's pushed to the top and going, I can't afford this place. So keep some of that in mind of where to position your hero product and to make sure that you're appealing to a broad range. And sometimes it can be something as simple as, what are you pushing to the top on EasyCater and what would make more sense using it that way? So there's some of that stuff that's going to be very helpful too.
Yeah. The other thing is photos. A photo will trigger likeliness of 30% more, say, person to make a purchase with a photo. It is critically important to include photos and make sure your photos are appropriate. I looked at a place today, won't give the name, but they said we have catering platters, and next to that clickable link was a slice of pizza on an individual dish. That gives me no confidence that they can cater. You want to make sure that their photos are on point and make sure that that they're in place. Back to ezCater, one other quick thing on ezCater, because I know third party. I always tell my clients, you want to be on ezCater to fish where the fish are, and you also want to offer first party catering, right? So the things you should be doing on ezCater, to make sure that you're a reliable rock star, you're the best in class. You want to make sure you're accepting orders within 15 to 30 minutes. One, that helps you float up to the top of their search bar. It too also lets the client know, hey, this has been accepted and I can move on. Reviews, we've already talked about the criticalness. You don't want to be canceling orders. There's a pay to play. That is an option that probably can touch on another time on menu optimization. But these are all little tips that will help you get to that top of the page. I think the statistic is 80% of purchases on ezCater come from the first page. So there's 32 slots on that page. If you're not there, you're probably not in consideration if people are just browsing for a restaurant.
So as we're talking through the traditional what works best, common mistakes, etc., she touched on a lot of these. Have a comprehensive portfolio, detailed photo galleries showcasing your best product, a clear pricing structure. You don't want people to walk away. You want to be able to easily see. Quick response time. She just touched on it. Accepting them quickly. Responding to inbound phone calls or inbound emails asking for information quickly. If you don't have a process in place, then build one. That's one of the biggest ways people lose orders, because if it takes 45 minutes for somebody to call them back, they've already reached out to 3 other restaurants. I can almost guarantee it. So third-party marketplace optimization, easy menu access with pricing, some of those things. Common mistakes. Again, hidden pricing, poor photos, slow response times. I think we just talked about all that. Leading with premium pricing. Make sure that your hero stands out. And then difficult menu navigation. And then some things you can do when time is tight. Make sure you've got some email templates that you can pop out real quick. If somebody says, hey, somebody wants to talk to us about it, have a template ready to go. One for thank you for reaching out. One for how was your meal? All those things. Have some templates created. And take 20 minutes and update your top 10 photos. Those are little things like that are going to be very helpful. I know, Dan, you didn't want to get too deep into it, but a solution because usually when people don't want to put pricing, it's because the prices are changed or they've got tiers. Do you want to speak to that real quick? I know we're at 4:00, guys. If anybody wants to stay a few minutes, we'll take a few minutes.
We've got a lot of that information there. I want to leave time for people to ask any questions that they may have. I know it was packed full, so I'll let them go back and revisit that. We did a good job of.
So anybody's got a question, please feel free to ask. We're going to cover a couple more things. If you guys can hang, that's great. If not, we're recording this. We'll share it after. But the toolbox I wanted to share with you. So again, all of these key exploration strategies have links that you'll be able to attach. A couple things I wanted to share for those of you who are hanging on, or you might see it after. Take your menu, take a visual image of your menu. If you can now click on Chat GPT or Grok down here, it's going to automatically copy some prompts for you and then just paste it into it, upload your menu, and it will give you a review of your menu. We did this with a couple of our clients, and we were surprised. It does a really good job. ChatGPT and Grok will tell you this menu. This is what's good about your menu. This is what's bad about your menu. It will pop you in the face if your pricing isn't right. It will pop you in the face if you don't have any photographs. It'll tell you, but it's very honest response, and I thought it was very good. Some other tools that we're building for you. We have an email generator. So you put some information about all of your business and hit generate email. It's going to create 3 emails for you. One that's going to say, hey, thanks for reaching out and asking about our catering. One that's going to say, hey, like a referral, and one about how your order was. So it's really cool. It creates some professional email templates customized to your brand. And so we're going to add one more note section in here so you can add additional notes. But this is a tool for you. I've practiced it, and then you just copy and paste it. So it's not stored on here or anything. It's just a generator for you. And then we built one for social media. You want to make a LinkedIn post. You want to do a Facebook post or an Instagram post. You have the means to be able to create that. You put all your content here. Then you ask for some content customization. So play with those if you're looking for a way to create a really cool post on Instagram or LinkedIn or something. We've built those tools for you. And then there's a big old exploration cheat sheet here if you want to talk about making your menu accessible creating email templates. It's just going to show all the things that we suggest and about how much time and then how much impact each of those will make. So again, I think we know we have a lot of information. We skimmed through it and still managed to run out of time, but I am very excited about what we've built here. I think that there's a lot of cool stuff here that you guys are going to find value in. There's also quizzes again at the bottom here, but open to any questions. But I wanted to say thank you. We're going to try to build this out for anyone that needs help, and we're going to keep adding to it. So if there's something that you would like to see added, let us know. We'll build it out for you. So, yeah, Danielle, anything else before we roll?
No, Abby, did we have any questions in the chat that we need to address? I haven't seen anything
No,
come
I'm
in.
looking at it. Nope, just
No,
some
no
comments.
questions right now.
Charlie, how about you? Anything before you go with regards to Donation Scout or anything about fundraising you want to share real quick?
No, I think we covered a lot. Like I said, anyone that's interested in kind of peeling back the onion, so to speak, just reach out and we'll get into it.
Yeah, please feel free. And if you, for some reason, can't figure out how to get a hold of him, reach out to me. I'll definitely connect you straight. Same thing with Danielle. If you're looking for some high-end marketing support, structure, strategy, consulting for your restaurant, not just for in-house, for catering, but the whole gamut. She's worked with amazing brands and is, as you can hear, she's a dynamo. There's a lot that she can help you. This is a passion project for me. And I want to make sure that you guys get what you need. And so I'm going to be very excited to send this link out to everyone. Play with it, dig in it. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't. If there's something in there that doesn't work, let me know that too. But we've added as a lot of tools as we could in a month. So I'm looking forward to what we can add in the next month. And listen, we're not rigid over here. It will go 4 minutes over and we won't worry about it. So it's it's an hour and 4 minutes and that's fine. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And thank you so much for being a part of it. Thanks for wanting to hear what we have to say. And hopefully we can keep giving you some amazing stuff to work with as we go.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All the best, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.